All right, and we are live from the Pace Studio in downtown Atlanta, Georgia. We're here with Leftover Salmon. Pretty stoked about it. Thanks you guys for coming through.
Woo!
Yeah.
We love Atlanta.
Yeah. Vince, Drew, thanks for being here in advance of your show tonight at the City Winery. I know you've been just down the block at the Tabernacle with the full band before. Yeah. But this is a run of acoustic duo shows, so we're stoked that you guys could make it through. So,
yeah, man, we're celebrating 30 years of doing this thing together. Drew and I have made all 30 years of it, so we figured we'd go out and take a little victory lap here.
Nice.
You know?
I think you've earned it. Yeah, and there's some stuff that we can talk about as we get going that will commemorate that 30 years. A vinyl box set. We'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, just tons of cool stuff you guys have done over the years, and I can't wait to learn a little bit more about you guys, more specifically from you. But for now, let's kick it off with some music. What are we going to hear up first?
This is a tune I wrote a long time ago in Gold Hill, Colorado, where Vince and I lived in a house together for a little while. And we used to play shows up there at the Gold Hill Inn, and just always an amazing time. All those shows were just totally classic. But anyway, here's a tune I wrote about living up there. It's called The Gold Hill Line. Riding this road in the middle of the night, riding on that Gold Hill line, heading up this mountain in the starlight. I can't wait to see that sweetheart of mine. There used to be a train that ran through this town. Oh, trying to steal rail. That ran the hills and valleys they call the Switzerland Trail. Riding on that Gold Hill line, my thoughts take me back to the time when they were riding on that Gold Hill Thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah, all right. We're feeling warmed up here. You guys feeling good?
We're getting there.
All right. I think it sounds great. So yeah, vinyl box set. 30 years under the big top. That's in pre-order right now. And that's 10 records from across the 30 years that you've been an active band. You've been doing this since 1989. That's not the only recent release, though. There was a From the Living Room Volume 1 last year. In 2018, you released Something Higher, which a lot of people are citing as some of your best work over the years. Kind of tell me a little bit about how the box set idea came, and just what's the last couple of years been like for you guys?
Well, vinyl's coming back.
It's
so
back.
We thought it'd be a great chance to mark the 30th with putting all the records we did, and we are lucky enough to get permission from all the labels we've been on over the years to actually have our records again. So we're pretty psyched about that, and it's good chance to remember what it was we did. Honestly,
You mean it's a blur a little bit?
It's somewhat, yeah.
Well, you make these records, and you listen to them a ton while you're making them to the point where you're completely sick of them by the time they come out and you never want to hear them again. And then you hear them years later, like, wow, that was actually kind of cool, So it's fun to go back and revisit in that way too, because not every day you get to hear all of your works on vinyl. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it has been a good couple of years. The Something Higher was a fun record we made down in Tucson. Really celebrating this combination we have in the band here with Eric Deutsch on keys and Alwyn Robinson on drums and Greg Garrison on bass and Andy Thorne on banjo, along with us with Drew and I. And man, it's just we're really happy 30 years into the band to have this kind of lineup and be making this kind of music, and feels fresh and alive and new,
Nice.
and a lot more like it used to.
Good.
Yeah.
You made it through the 90s and the early aughts, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a feat in and of itself. But yeah, I mean, you guys have just done so many cool things over the years. I totally get the you make a record and then you're already sick of it by the time it releases because it's 6 months of having to wait and all this stuff. That's a common not complaint, but I guess observation about how that all works. And yeah, I mean, 30 years is an epic amount of stuff that you guys have done. So many cool things. A bunch of Red Rock shows with Blues Traveler. Like, you guys have done stuff with Adult Swim, just like tons and tons of stuff. I guess, is there a highlight, a standout? Like, man, I'm so glad we did that one thing.
There's so many ones.
I know, there's so many.
So many.
I guess the Nashville Sessions record was really the biggest Fantasy Island we got to have. Playing with Earl Scruggs and Waylon Jennings,
Yeah,
Taj Mahal, and folks like that, and it's been a great ride.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm glad you're still riding, and you're continuing on to make this music. There was an artist in here about a week ago that I'll remember who sang this song exactly in a minute, probably. But they basically did a song to all those people that man, I just thank you for continuing to do this, and so thank you both for continuing to do this as well. What are we going to hear up next? What's number 2?
We're going to do one about continuing to do this, I guess, since you're talking about that.
Perfect.
And the fact that it's more like it used to be now than it ever has been, And this one's called The Brand New Good Old Days. These days, I tend to do a lot of dreaming. I've forgotten all the scheming and just try to be in the here and now. These days, full of ever more distraction, I can find my satisfaction in the faces of these good friends gathered round. These are the brand new good old days. My used to was got stuck there in yesterday. It's never more now than it is today. These are the brand new good old days. These days, I won't be getting any younger. Before time takes us under, I'm living big every minute of every day. These days, I don't think about tomorrows, 'cause time just can't be borrowed, and tomorrows, they just turn to yesterday. These are the brand new good old days. My used to was got stuck back in yesterday. It's never more now than it is today. These are the brand new good old days. days. Might used to was, got stuck there yesterday. But it's never more now than it is today. These are the brand new good old days. These are the brand new good old days. Yeah, they are. Thanks, yo.
Yeah, nice. Need that feeling of it being a good day here in our current situation in the world. But
we do.
Yeah. But internally and for us, it is a good day. And this is so much fun, you guys. So what? Here's a fun fact, which bluegrass music here tonight. It's kind of the phrase that started it all, right? I know that Vince, you went and saw Drew sort of by chance, and then the rest is history. I'd love a pace session version of that story. It can be short if you want, but I love that bluegrass music here tonight.
In 1985, I moved from West Virginia to Colorado with my buddy Lou Pritchard. We drove out there in a 1956 Volvo station wagon packed to the gills with all kind of instruments and whatnot. And we pulled into Boulder, driving from West Virginia into Colorado. We stopped at this bar, and it was Drew and the left-hand string band playing. And, I thought, these dudes must be killing it, man. I mean, they got day jobs, and they're making $50 a night, man.
$50 a man.
Woo!
That's pretty good in '85, actually.
Yeah, man. So, I'm thinking, man, I'd really like to do that someday. And a couple years in, I joined the left-hand string band, and then they fired me. But I started the Salmon Heads, and we combined it back together.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That makes total sense.
That's how it all came around.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, really just cheers to you guys again. Vince and Drew, 30 years, man. This is great. And it totally shows. You guys are great at what you do. And, it's a real treat to have you here today. So,
great to be here.
If you're in town tonight in Atlanta and you're watching this, don't sleep on the show at City Winery. It's going to be a good one. And then where are you guys heading next? I forgot to write that stuff down. I typically do.
Nashville. Brevard. Richmond, D.C., Philly, New York, Syracuse, Boston, and Vermont. Nice. On this run here. Just doing the 30-year victory lap.
Right. It was a good lap. Do you see some full band stuff happening down the road, or like after the acoustic duo run?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, we're just taking a little winter run,
Yep.
And I think Salmon's going to concentrate a whole lot on festivals and things like that, which are real meat and potatoes.
Once we get to summer, fall, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope we get another chance to do this, and it can also include the full band. That would be rad.
Absolutely.
There's a bunch of equipment behind you. We'd be happy to lend. So anytime it makes sense for you, please come back and visit us.
We'd love to.
You bet.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe we could do a song and then, kind of record over it with us on the rest of the instruments.
Sure,
do layers of video.
We
and
do have
audio
the stems.
And,
we do have the stems. So could do that.
We'll try that later.
All right, we'll try that later.
Maybe next time.
What are we going to close with today, though?
Here's a tune called Southern Belle off that newest record, written by my good buddy Yoke. Hey, Yoke.
Hey.
E, right? D. Okay, yeah, that's the key. Yeah. Started out so beautiful, ended on a hill. One look in those pearly eyes, you swore was a Southern Belle. Well, it seemed like it took a little while. I think I missed it by at least 100 miles. Yeah, we started out so long ago. You got that right. Here we are, 6 feet in the snow. And it started out so beautiful, ended all to hell. One look in those pearly eyes, you swore was a Southern belle. Have you ever seen that sunrise before you had a chance to close your tired eyes? Yeah, you're sitting there, just the only one. I guess you couldn't sleep, and here comes the morning sun. And it started out so beautiful, ended all to hell. One look in those pearly eyes, you'd swore was a Southern belle. Like angry waves on a broken shore. Yeah, you're sitting there all by yourself, 'cause you don't want to talk to nobody else. And it started out so beautiful, ended all to hell. Well, look in those pearly eyes, you swore was a Southern belle. And it started out so beautiful, ended all to hell. One look in those pearly eyes, you swore was a Southern belle.
So wonderful to have you guys here. I know you guys all got to get to the City Winery. I will give you the option, though, if you're feeling it.
Sure.
Why not?
Well, Washington, that Valley Forge, screaming cold when I'm Step George. Ba-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do. Crazy words, that crazy tune, all that George could tune and smooth us. Ba-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do. The ukuleles play with strum diddly-dum-bum, dancing, romancing, till I got a red hot mama. Crazy words, that crazy tune, all that George could tune and smooth. Ba-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Nixon at Watergate looks at the crowd and says, "What tape? Yo-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do-do-do." Well, Dick had old Rosemary Wood, Rosemary doing just what she could. Fa-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do. The ukuleles playing, he was strum-diddly-dum-dum, dancing, romancing. All down our red hot mama, crazy bird now, crazy tune, all that Georgia tune swoon. Fa-do-de-o-do-do-do-do-do-do. Don't you know that guy's a pain hanging out in the old Ukraine? Oh, he's all floating today, it's true. I can't wait till this guy's term is through now. Crazy bird, now crazy tune, all that dick can turn it through. But oh, He's unhinged.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for throwing that in at the last minute. We love you guys. There's a ton of grins back here. Lots of comments on the internet. Right on. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks,
We'll do it again. Crush it at the City Winer. We'll safe travels to your next destination.
Onward.